Hello friends, welcome to my channel. My name's Bernard. I'm a violin teacher, and today's violin lesson will be on a piece called La Cinquantaine by Gabriel-Marie. It's in the Barber Book 1, Volume 1, pages 24-25. It's a very, very nice piece, and from a strictly interpretive standpoint, I think it's important to understand La Cinquantaine is referring to a golden wedding anniversary. And so we can interpret this piece, it's a nice piece on its own, but as a musician, to interpret this piece, I think it's important to understand what the author was writing. It was a French Romantic author. He lived, I have the dates, 1852, 1928, so late 1800s in the Romantic period. It was a romantic look at 50 years of marriage. So it kind of sets the tempo. We look at cut time, sure, definitely a feeling of two, andantino. So andante means slow walk. Andantino is going to be a little bit faster, so there's some motion in the music. But so the big thing with this piece, technically it's not that difficult. But interpretively, you want to have these different ideas. So we start off the piece as I just played it for you with this kind of on the string, and there's this cute. There's various ways to do that, but for my students who have any kind of technical issue with that, you have to release the harmonic, go up to it, release the bow off the string, and let the harmonic ring. And then you can either come back to third position or you can come back to fourth position. I think when I performed it, I did it both ways. I forget which one I did. The first one, if you want to go over to the D string or you want to come down on the A string. So the first section is a little bit lively, but then we get to this. It says, this is bar 17, legato espressivo. Definitely there's a reminiscing going on there, looking back and thinking about the old times. Very, very lovely. Down bar 29, I see I did some fancy, it's a nice effect. Going up on the D string before landing on the G string. Definitely want to play that E on the G string with the diminuendo, but it's nice to play right before it on the D string. So you could try that. I'll do it again. So this is bar 27. I shift, get back up to fourth position. First time forte. Maybe a little diminuendo in there, not necessary, but it's going to necessarily have a different sound when you play on the D string than on the A string. And then after you come this back to first position. And this at this point in your education as a violinist, shifting around is just automatic. First, third, second, fourth, fifth, all this stuff, just for effects. We hardly ever, would we play? Yeah, that's ridiculous, right? You got to be shifting around. Sorry, I have new strings on. I remember once I was playing with Isaac Stern. He was playing the Tchaikovsky Concerto, and he came out and he played it, and I played through the first movement. At the end of the first movement, I heard he played some of those. There was octaves going up and down. He was playing some of a little out of tune. At the end of the movement, he stopped and he tuned. And he turned to the orchestra. This is on a performance. He turned to the orchestra and says, "Sorry, I have new strings on the violin." So, crazy stuff that touring artists have to do. We had to put a new set of strings on. So I'm not a touring artist. I don't have that excuse. So anyhow, So we've gone down to that first couple of sections where we have the introduction, a little statement. I can easily see that as walking through Paris, back in the 1800s. And then this, another, the reminiscing. All right, then we're going to the third section, which is, I feel like a little più mosso, more moving, a little faster, right? We're playing. And there was the getting a little bit off the string. It's kind of nice. It says sottovoce, but now I noticed in the music in 46 that on the fifth note they have a dot on the quarter, and it doesn't make sense. It's so much nicer to play it on the string. And then make that nice shift up on the A string. Now this is interesting because I didn't like in 46 to play that much short, but then after that the quarters, then I play them short. So again, this is all interpretation. You have to decide for yourself. See, I didn't like that. I like to have that. So, some quarters long, some quarters short. You can decide for yourself. And then we've got this, sorry. So you can do that. You can go up. I don't know if I did that on when I performed it for you. So many things. See, if I go to the fourth position, stay there. Now when I make the repeat, I'm still in fourth position. And I can extend to the E. See, that's how you make things more interesting for an audience, even an audience that doesn't know the piece. If you're playing on different strings, different positions, and different sounds, it gives the audience a better experience. All right, so let's say we're getting to the end of... Now, they give you a hint in the music. They say legato espressivo. Yeah, and the music speaks that also. After this first section... with the accent. Now, nice little transition there. I love it. It's so beautiful. I'm very, very expressive. And then we come along. I want to really emphasize, I notice with my students, they don't really recognize in bar 63 the difference, that D natural, and in bar 50 the D sharp. The first time, I want to really emphasize that D sharp, and then to hear, it just automatically feels like, gosh, the piece is, or at least the section is ending. Another. I don't think I did this on when I performed for you, but this is a nice shift. Maybe the second time, go up on the D string. With a little retard, and then we're back to. Now you notice here, like in the beginning, playing staccato instead of spiccato. In the middle section, starting in 41, we play a lot off the string spiccato. But here, so that's a beautiful contrasting effect. You really make an enjoyable experience for audience when you vary your bowing, vary the fingerings. I mean, all this. You think, well, it wouldn't make a difference to a person, that doesn't know the music, but it's, that's not true. It really makes a difference. I just had a student here that I was just working with, and he was playing a piece that I don't know. It's a, a romantic kind of a gypsy kind of piece. And I was the audience. And, he's playing things. And so we went through it several times. By the end, it was just so much more interesting because we changed some bowings, we changed some fingerings, cleaned up a little intonation. And even for an audience like myself, I didn't know the piece, but I was kind of confused when he was doing things. And then as we cleaned it up, by the time he finished the lesson, it really made a lot of sense. So you can do the same thing. This is a wonderful piece for this kind of interpretation, where you play it one way and then you start thinking, how can I change it? How can I make it more interesting for an audience? Okay, thanks so much for listening. If you like this lesson, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. All right, we'll see you on the next lesson. Take care.